What's up, guys? It's KZ here. Me and the pimple on my forehead are here to tell you why I feel like Michael Chandler should not be ranked in the top 15. I feel like there are a lot of guys that are unranked that would definitely whoop his ass. Um, right now on the UFC rankings, he's ranked number 11. On Typology, he's number 14. But the UFC rankings are the legit rankings. Even if they are kind of wrong. So you can see here that he's number 11, which I feel like is pretty fucking absurd because I feel like there are a lot of guys outside of the rankings, even Ignacio Bahamondes right there at 15. If you can go ahead and see that. Let me see if I can make that bigger. Yeah, you can see Bahamondes at 15. He'd fucking smoke Michael Chandler, and I'm pretty damn confident in that fact. But this is mostly about unranked fighters that would smoke Chandler. And I mean, I guess you could include Beneil Dariush in this as well. But I'm not trying to pick on old man Benny. He's just chinny. He got fucked up by BSD. But this video is supposed to be about Michael Chandler. But a lot of these fighters could apply to Beneil Dariush as well. Like, these guys should not be ranked in the top 15 of lightweight. Newer contenders are on the come up. Chandler was just frozen in time from 2022 to 2024, just waiting on that Conor McGregor lottery ticket, only to come back and get fucked up by Charles Oliveira and Paddy Pimblett. Chandler does have a very entertaining, fan-friendly style, but he fights like a human highlight reel. He's like a poor man's Justin Gaethje. But that strategy has a cost. He runs forward, wings overhands, burns through his gas tank in like 3 minutes. And that's why these elite fighters keep beating him. And you're like, oh, he's only losing to the best guys. It's like because they're only putting him up against the best guys. So I don't know, man. In reality, Michael Chandler, he's an entertainer. He's an entertaining fighter. He delivers chaos every time. That's not in question here. Even though he is a dirty bastard, man. I poked Justin Gaethje. The referee Gaethje was kind of like gesturing towards the ref. Well, I poked, and then Chandler throws the fucking overhand. Punched Charles Oliveira in the back of the head 50,000 times, put his fingers in Dustin Poirier's mouth, all that shit. I don't like that side of Chandler's game, all the dirty cheating. But let me go ahead and double check something real quick. All right, I'm using the right microphone, but yeah, I just want to make sure I wasn't going to record this whole thing with the wrong mic. But yeah, in reality, Chandler is an entertaining fighter, but he hasn't had a win since 2022. He's fun, but he's not a top lightweight right now. And until he actually beats a ranked opponent again, he shouldn't be ranked at all. He, like I said, hasn't had a win since 2022. He's just holding a top 15 ranking hostage while these other contenders actually fight. So I just wanted to go ahead and highlight a bunch of guys that I feel like would whoop Michael Chandler's ass that are outside of the rankings, but they're not in the top 15 when they very well could and should be. First things first, we got Ludovic Klein. Ludovic Klein is 8-3 in the UFC. I definitely feel like he would smoke Michael Chandler. He just came off that big war with Mateusz Rebecki where he ended up breaking his leg, actually. But he was whooping Rebecki up until that point. Last loss was against Mateusz Gamrot. He just got taken down. Chandler does not have the same level of control grappling that Gamrot has. And then other than that, he's on a solid ass win streak, or he was on a solid win streak before that. His early UFC losses are kind of ugly against Michael Trezano and Nate Landwehr. You don't love to see it, but that was back in 2021. Since then, he beat Devontae Smith, Mason Jones, which is a good win, Ignacio Bahamondes, which is a great win. He actually whooped Bahamondes pretty bad. AJ Cunningham, that was a squash match. Thiago Moises, impressive win. Roosevelt Roberts, kind of solid. And then that Rebecki war. I think Ludovic Klein would smoke Michael Chandler, and yeah, I feel like he would just stop the takedowns and fuck him up on the feet. And then we got Nazim Sadikov, who I feel like would beat Michael Chandler as well. Nazim Sadikov is 4-0 in the UFC with one draw that he surprisingly went to draw with Slavoklas Borshev. But other than that, he's on all of his UFC wins are by finish. He beat Evan Elder, which is a solid fucking win. Terrence McKinney, another good win as well. Terrence McKinney would give Michael Chandler problems, at least in the first round. He definitely has live to KO him. Same with Beneil Dariush. You're telling me Terrence McKinney doesn't knock out Beneil Dariush and makes his way into the top 15? I don't think so. And the way you beat Ismail Bonfim, Nicholas Mota in a sick-ass fight, Nazim Sadikov beats him too. And then we got Manuel Torres. All these guys are unranked, by the way. Think about that. And Beneil Dariush and Michael Chandler are ranked. Not to shit on Beneil. This is more like a fuck Michael Chandler video. But I don't know, man. Manuel Torres, 4-1 to the UFC, only lost to Ignacio Bahamondes. Outside of that, he's finished every single one of his UFC fights. He's only been a decision once in his whole entire career. He finished Nicholas Mota. He finished Chris Duncan, which is a very impressive win. And he beat Drew Dober, which is another impressive finish as well. And before that, he beat Frank Camacho, which, is kind of like a guy that's outside of the UFC at this point, but still a solid finish nonetheless. Esteban Rivovics, he definitely fucks Michael Chandler up. I would be very surprised if he would not. Like, the thing is, like, Chandler cannot hang with these guys on the feet. His path to victory against these guys is like a lucky fucking overhand, which all these guys are way slicker than him on the feet, and I don't think that he's going to land that. Esteban Rivovics 4-2 in the UFC. He should be 5-1. The Nasrat fight was a robbery. He's got a win over Terrence McKinney, solid ass head kick in the first round, put him to sleep. Daniel Zellhuber, another solid win, a war at UFC Sphere, UFC Noche. And then he had a solid performance against Elvis Brenner, who is a very good fighter as well. Elvis Brenner might fucking beat Michael Chandler too at this point. But then we got Chris the Problem Duncan. I feel like he would beat Michael Chandler as well. He's 5-1 in the UFC and only losing to Manuel Torres. Beside that, he got that nice guillotine over Balagioki, guillotined Jordan Vucenic, had that crazy ass war with Mateusz Rąbecki, who I feel like would probably beat Michael Chandler as well. That'd be a pretty sick fight. Both guys are kind of similarly built, just like stocky fucking crazy men. But, I think that Esteban or Chris Duncan would beat him as well. Quillian Salkeld, another unranked lightweight who I feel like would smoke Michael Chandler. He doesn't really have the level of competition on his resume, but, he's got a win over Anshul Jubilee, which, doesn't mean much. Ashmouz is a solid win. And then he got that nasty head kick KO over Nasrat Haqparast. That was karma for robbing Ribovics. But yeah, man, Quillian Salkeld, like, I feel like all of these guys would fuck up Michael Chandler. And then honorable mentions, we got Chris Taco Padilla, Mateusz Rąbecki. Like I mentioned earlier, we got Cowboy Fernandez, who I feel like would just fucking rip Chandler apart with the calf kicks. We saw what he did against Harry Hardwick. Terrence McKinney, like I said earlier, would give Chandler problems, at least in round one. Tom Nolan. Like, these guys are all unranked, man. Like, if we go through the lightweight rankings on Tapology, because the UFC doesn't actually show it, like, these guys in the lightweight division are just being held out of it by these guys like Beneil Dariush and Michael Chandler. Like, come on now. Like, you're telling me that Bahamondes doesn't smoke him. You're telling me Fares Ziam gives him problems. Quillian Salkeld, Klein, Sadikov, Torres. Fucking Michael Johnson would probably KO Michael Chandler, bro. Fucking 42-year-old Michael Johnson. Like, this guy is 16-15 in the UFC. He's on a 3-fight winning streak. He's got a better win-to-loss ratio than Chandler, who's 2-5. Michael Johnson would probably fucking knock out Michael Chandler. Like, are you kidding me here? So, yeah, man. The UFC needs to put Muscle Milk Mike out of the rankings. They need to pull him out of the rankings by his bootstraps. See him at the bottom. We're going to see Michael Chandler at the bottom of the rankings is what we should see. Or, he should be fed to one of these up-and-coming savages so they can build another prospect. Like, all these guys that I named, how many guys did I name here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like, 11 dudes, including Michael Johnson, making it 12, would whoop Michael Chandler's ass. And they would probably all beat Beneil Dariush as well. But, yeah, man. Like, these guys are just sitting on the rankings, holding up the division. Like, we got to have some progress. We have to have some progress in these divisions. Like, what happened at welterweight? We saw a lot of new faces with Morales, Prates, Buckley, JDM that got the belt. Like, all these dudes up, we got Bonfim on the come up. Like, come on, man. We need to have some turnover in the lightweight division because it's just been stagnant for years at this point. And yeah, man, that's about it. Michael Chandler, undeservedly ranked. Beneil Dariush as well. But yeah, we got to get some turnover in the lightweight division. But that's about it. That's just what I wanted to talk about. I know it's kind of like just out of nowhere, just a shit on Michael Chandler video, but it's just something that I've been thinking about for a while here, that I feel like a lot of these guys that are unranked in the lightweight division would whoop Michael Chandler's ass, and he doesn't deserve to be ranked. So let me know what you think in the comments. Go ahead and like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys later in the UFC 323 video, which is coming out, or the UFC 323 full card picks and breakdowns, all that good stuff, which is coming out maybe next week. So I will see you guys later, and have a good one.